is this is the county ordinance.
Mm-hmm.
I'm supposed to determine whether they apply this county ordinance correctly. Whether this ordinance, when it was passed, violates state statute or violates the Constitution.
So if that ordinance says no black people, he's fine trespassing someone for being black.
If that's what this said, then yes.
Oh.
Get your popcorn ready because this road is going to get really rocky and really bumpy. I want you to go over to John Felix and Cammed Up Caveman. Links are in the description below. This kangaroo court thing that John Felix is going through, you just wait. All you have to do is wait and hear what's about to be said because this is wild.
How are you, sir?
Good, how are you?
Good to see you again.
Likewise.
You were a nice guy that day.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
Let's see. Are you policy enforcement or law enforcement?
Law enforcement.
Were you enforcing their policy or the law?
Somebody come and look at this. Look at this.
I was enforcing the law.
Which law?
The criminal trespass.
And what's required in order to criminally trespass someone?
Objection in that this was not a criminal trespass. It's county ordinance, trespass warning, and it's also asking him a legal question.
This next part is probably going to hurt your head just as much as it hurts mine.
You weren't trying to issue me a criminal trespass warning?
It was actually the county ordinance trespass warning, as the attorney stated.
So what are we saying? It's not criminal?
Right.
What is it?
Trespass warning, meaning that the county has an ordinance that allows you to be trespassed from county property for certain reasons. And that determination is made by the office that's asking you to be trespassed.
So if I were to go back on the property after the trespass warning, what would I be charged with?
Trespass after warning.
Not criminal trespass?
It is criminal.
That is
So it's criminal trespass if I go back.
Correct.
But it's not a criminal trespass warning.
No, it's the county ordinance warning.
So you're not warning me that if I go back, I'll be charged with criminal trespass.
I am.
You are warning me of criminal trespass.
After the fact, yes.
Okay.
Does that make any sense? Okay, it's an ordinance trespass. Okay, sure. But if I don't leave, I will be criminally arrested for trespass after warning. How does that make sense?
What evidence did they provide you that I was recording?
The video, well, the written statements.
Outside of that?
That was it.
The only evidence you have is their hearsay testimony.
A testament of what occurred, and then I obtained video surveillance that was presented here, and that was it.
What video surveillance did you see?
Not surveillance, the recording. My apologies.
The recording from his personal cell phone?
Yes.
Okay.
That was
what did you see there?
Just interaction between you and Jeff.
Jeff or Zamora?
Jeff, and he was recording.
Zamora was?
Yes.
And I was speaking to Zamora saying, here's my
Correct.
court order.
Right.
And when you first showed up on the scene, where was it?
Parking lot, across.
Across a public road on a different property, right?
Correct.
So I did leave the property.
Correct.
Okay. And only after I came to speak to you. Did I call the police on them?
Yes.
I did call the police. I called for you to come help me.
Correct.
Because I believe Jeff was being disorderly.
Correct.
Right.
And so remember, he's inside this tax collector's office. He's telling him he has a court order. He's not in the recording. And he's saying he has to do a records request. And he's requesting somebody to come out to do the records request. And then all chaos breaks loose. And the guy, Zamora, he's the one that makes the recording and all this stuff. And he's an employee that starts recording inside the tax collector's office, breaking the ordinance. I know that's a lot to take in, but this is how wild this whole trespass thing is going.
And did I file a criminal complaint against Jeff later on?
Yes,
Under 83705, right?
yes.
Okay. So has anything been done about that?
It was investigated and it was unfounded.
Oh.
Not my investigation, the other deputy,
Who did that investigation?
Corporal Hill.
And am I supposed to get the results of that, or?
I'm not sure how.
Okay,
what
so-
is- If he notified you or not, I can't
So
speak.
you have no personal first-hand knowledge if I was recording or not?
No,
You're taking the word of these people that were testifying up here, who contradicted themselves over and over?
correct.
Okay. You swore an oath, right? Constitution?
Yes.
Okay. Does that come into play when you do your job?
Yes,
It does. Are you familiar with the Constitution?
yes,
And is free press one of the people's constitutional rights?
yes.
And when do you believe that could be limited?
Objection.
Sustained.
When determining trespass, does the law have to be broken?
Does the law have to be broken?
No.
No.
No law has to be broken?
To criminally charge him, yes.
What about the warning itself, to remove somebody?
No.
So, if you trespass someone from McDonald's, it's the same thing as if you trespass them from City Hall?
I can't answer that. I'm not sure. City Hall.
So you don't know if
I
there's a
don't work-
difference?
I work for the county. I don't enforce City Hall.
Forget City Hall, any government public place. Is it the same rules as a private business?
More or less when policy is broken. So for us, the same documentation.
Let's say I'm in McDonald's.
Right.
McDonald's manager calls you guys. I want this guy gone. Do they have to give you a reason?
No.
I'm out of there, right? It's a private property.
Right.
I gotta go.
Right.
Doesn't matter what the reason is. Right?
Correct.
Now, is that the same for a public building?
No, there's stipulations and policies.
Right, they have to have a good reason.
Correct.
Do you believe somebody's perception and feelings is justification to remove somebody from public property who is doing legitimate business?
Objection.
Sustained.
Why would that be sustained? On what grounds?
There's no foundation for what you're saying. You're asking me to speculate.
He
The
just,
testimony is that there has to be a basis, but the
Yeah.
basis is based on the ordinance.
the basis is there's different rules for public property than there is for private property.
Right, one of those is violating policy. So all that,
Do you mean according to 66159?
yes.
Why is no other law heard in this matter? I don't get that. Why is every other law ignored except for 66159?
Because you were trespassed under that one. That's why we're doing.
Correct, but there's laws and case law that say they can't do that.
Dude, I can't even, when you're in a kangaroo court like this is what you're dealing with. You're dealing with people like, oh, we're only going to look at this, but we don't want to look at any other laws. All these other laws that you're talking about don't mean anything here. We don't care about those other laws. They mean absolutely nothing to us. That's what's being said right now. This is wild.
They can't do what?
Remove you from public property outside of some law being broken.
It's not law. There's a list of things that one of those is policy being broken.
Yeah, you have to be disruptive or something.
That's not what it says. It says policy.
You're talking about 66159.
Yes.
So what about Article 1, 24A and B? That doesn't apply?
It does.
Okay, that says I
And
can,
I would challenge, you would say that this 66157 violates Article 1 is how you would challenge that.
here in this court?
No.
Oh. Okay, so that law doesn't apply here.
I'm not saying it doesn't apply, but that's not what we're here today for. Yes. Yes, I guess I am saying that.
That law doesn't apply in this
I
court.
don't know if it's not that it doesn't apply, but we're not here saying that this is a violation of the Constitution. We're here today for this hearing, it's a what's administrative hearing, and I'm an attorney and not a judge. This is a county ordinance. I'm supposed to determine whether they apply this county ordinance correctly. Whether this ordinance, when it was passed, violates state statute or violates the Constitution.
So if that ordinance says no black people, he's fine trespassing someone for being black.
If that's what this said, then yes.
God damn it, are you fucking with me?
God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
What the hell did you just say?
He's fine trespassing someone for being black.
If that's what this said, then yes.
He's fine trespassing someone for being black.
If that's what this said, then yes.
Oh.
I don't think that would, I think it would have been immediately, the lawsuit would have been filed the second it got passed, but that's.
Sir, if the policy said no black people, would you enforce that policy?
Why don't you just answer the question?
Be honest.
No big deal. Yeah, answer it.
Just answer the question, Claire.
Talk to us.
Come on, Ed.
Objection. Sustained.
You just said yes, that if the policy says it, he can enforce it.
That's not what I said.
I'm confused.
I said we're not here today to challenge this law. This has been in place and no one has challenged it, right?
I'm challenging it twice now.
Not legally anymore.
According to you, according to the Constitution, says I can.
No, not according to me, according to the law, how it's done.
Which law?
You're challenging this trespass warning, right? That's what you
And
want.
I'm also challenging their ability to enforce their policy.
No, that's not why we're here today. I tried to tell you that last time. If you want to,
If they wrote no black people, the cops can
that's not
enforce
what
it.
we're here
You're saying whatever they write as policy, the cops have to go by that.
for. Yeah.
So if it said no black people, the cops would have to go by it.
I'm not going to speculate on that because there would be in a lawsuit immediately.
Now stick with me. He's being trespassed for not recording inside the tax collector's office. He got kicked out and trespassed because he wasn't recording. And now he's fighting a trespass where he wasn't recording, and because of their policy, they can trespass anybody if they make it up. If your shirt says "Guns Make Me Happy" and you walked in there and they don't like your shirt, they can kick you out. That is what they're saying. You have your First Amendment right, all these rights that you have that don't, like,
It would never get enforced because there'd be a lawsuit.
Sir, regardless if there was a law or a lawsuit immediately, doesn't make it any more lawful. So again, I ask, anything they write in a policy, you'll enforce as a trespass?
Objection.
Sustained.
Will you, how can I ask that differently?
Speculation.
Huh?
It's speculation. You're asking to speculate.
Did you trespass me based on their policy?
Yes, coupled with their statement.
Yeah. So if their statement was, our policy says, no white guys, and they attested, our policy says no white guys, would you still trespass me? Or would you say, whoa, 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 whoa?
You don't have to answer that.
Why would he not have, I don't get it.
Because you're speculating again.
But he just said he enforced their policy along with their statement.
He's not challenging it's not his place to challenge the law.
It's not his place to uphold the law and obey his oath.
Challenge their policy.
So in other words, whatever their policy says, they have to go by.
Yeah, there's checks and balances.
Right.
And if somebody passes a law.
So unless somebody sues,
that's how it works.
they will trespass black people, if it's written down.
I never said that. I know you.
Sir, you're saying their policy says no First Amendment allowed inside their lobby. If their policy said no toddlers, no red shirts, no hats, can they still be trespassed for that?
that's what their policy said and it hadn't been challenged, then yes.
So that would go, so the same thing,
Into these extremes.
so the same thing would be no speech, no religion, no blacks. It's the same thing.
Doesn't make any sense. If you weren't listening to this, you wouldn't, if I said this, you probably wouldn't believe me. But to hear it, and this is, like I said, in Kangaroo Court, they just, whatever, oh my God. It hurts. It hurts so much.
There's one right guaranteed under the Constitution.
It's a fair question because you're asking him to make a determination based on the law.
He made a determination that
His
day.
job isn't to make that determination.
Did you make a determination of me trespassing?
How trespass warning works. They say you violated a policy. The ordinance says if they say you violated a policy, you can be trespassed. That's all.
Regardless of what the policy says.
He doesn't even have to know what the policy says.
Regardless of what the policy says.
Correct.
So even if it says no black people.
I'm not speculating that.
Okay.
I know
you just said regardless of what the policy says.
Right.
Right. So if it said no black people, he'd still trespass somebody. Is that correct?
Don't answer that. This is staying your objection to murder.
Because it's so ridiculous, right?
It is ridiculous.
Right. So is violating somebody's free press rights. Is it not? Why is that held to a lower standard?
Yeah, it's not. If it was violating them. I don't know if it is or not. I know that there's certain time, place, and manner restrictions that are appropriate.
And what are those, sir?
Supreme Court.
What are
those? It's not for me to determine.
So the time, place, and manner restrictions are during open hours, only in places open to the
They're
public.
not specific like that. That is not. There's not a set list. That's not how it works.
How does it work?
It's what a reasonable court determines to be reasonable.
Okay, so based on our policy.
So you can report it there. You just have to get permission ahead of time. That's what was testified to today. Did you ask
That's
permission?
discriminatory.
Did you ask permission?
I wasn't recording.
Have you?
Did I ask permission to not record?
Have
Is
you
that what you're
ever
asking?
asked permission to record?
I don't ask permission to exercise my rights, no. That would negate the whole Constitution. Think about that. That would negate every Bill of Rights.
No. So you're telling me there aren't reasonable time, place, and manner restrictions?
There are.
So how are the two not correct?
Smith v. Cummings, you're allowed to record individuals in the course of their government employees in the course of their duty. Article 1, 24A and B, you're allowed to make copies of records and or public meetings with an official that have an objective record, no matter the form or
Do
fashion.
you think those are the only specific instances that time, place, and manner restrictions can be put into place?
No, there's a whole slew of different ones, but they're making policy about a thin air.
But you have to have a specific, in your opinion, is you have to have a specific case to cite to.
As far as what?
As far as the policy, there has to be a case the court ruled on for that.
Not necessarily a case, but there has to be some type of violation. Gathering the info. If I go over here and record and he's on his phone and texting, that's a private conversation. It's not illegal to capture that. It's illegal to knowingly take it and publish it for
They didn't charge you with that.
Huh?
They didn't charge you with taking that and doing something with it.
But they're saying that's what I did to be removed from public property.
No. They're saying that they have a policy in place because they have an obligation to protect the information. How they chose to do that is put a policy in place. You can't record without prior approval.
A policy that violates the law.
That's your opinion.
It's not my opinion. The court said rules. Smith v. Cummings, Article 1. I can go on and on and on. Fordyce v. Seattle.
You should have sued the tax collector in the circuit court then.
I should have sued the tax collector.
In the circuit court if you believe the policy is unconstitutional. I can't make that decision.
Sue the tax collector in circuit court. Okay.
And that's my biggest problem. They're like, oh, just sue us. Just sue us. Just sue us. Well, here in the state of Florida, there's not a whole heck of a lot of civil rights litigators. A lot of them, there's a couple, but they're very selective on what they choose. I've called the NAACP, I've called ACLU, I've called so many different organizations, so many different lawyers to try to take up any one of any numerous cases where my rights were violated, and nobody's there. And just like this guy's saying, "Oh, just sue us." These people know that we don't. There's not many lawyers out there to help with this, and they know this, and that's why they do. That's why they create these ordinances. That's why they do what they do, knowing that they're going to get away with it. So, I want you to go over to John Felix and Cammed Up Caveman. The video comes from Cammed Up Caveman. Please give him a sub, give him a thumbs up. The links will be in the description, like always. Like I said, this kangaroo court thing is wild and crazy. I think he's pretty close to getting to the end of the resolution of this, and I can't wait. And I'm rooting for him. I'm hoping he wins this, because hearing this and what he's going through is crazy. There is more to this video. Like I said, links will be in the description. Watch the entire thing. It is wild. So I'm out of here. Don't forget to hit that like, share, and that subscribe button, all that good stuff. And I'm out. Soliaker. Deuces.